let's talk about graphing a system of linear inequalities, but things aren't in a slope-intercept form. So the more advanced version of this. Now, at this point in time, you should already know how to graph a basic system of linear inequalities, and if you don't, make sure you go back and review that topic because I am assuming that you know how in this video, and I'm moving from there. So what we're going to do, none of these are in slope-intercept form. I'm going to go ahead and make them in slope-intercept form. So I have 5x plus 4y less than or equal to 4. I'm going to subtract 5x off both sides. I have 4y less than or equal to negative 5x plus 4. Dividing both sides by 4. I have y less than or equal to negative 5/4 x plus 1. So that's my first equation. I'm going to plot it. So y-intercept is 1. Slope is negative 5/4, so that's down 5, right 4. Down 5, right 4. That should put me there. There's an underline, so I'm going to draw a solid line. And it's less than, so I will be shading below. For my next one, this guy here, negative 5x plus 6y less than negative 12, I'm going to be doing the same thing. I'm going to solve for y, so adding 5x to both sides. I have 6y less than or equal to, no, just less than. Well, 6y is less than 5x minus 12. Dividing everything by 6. Ooh. Sorry about that. Every once in a while, this app gets a little finicky. So now I have y less than 5/6x minus 2. So I'm going to plot this line. Y-intercept is negative 2. And then the slope is 5, 6. So up 5, right 6. 5, right 6. I think that puts me, yep, that should be good. No underline means that this should be a dashed line. And it says less than, so I will be shading below. So the region that has arrows on both sides of it would be this guy here. Arrows here. This guy doesn't have it because there's no arrows on this side. This one has arrows on neither side. This guy doesn't have arrows here. So this guy here, just shade it and you are good. That's it for this one. So really, it's just there's an extra step there and you have to be careful about your work. But it's the same process. It's the same process. Right. Let's look at this guy. Negative 3x plus 2y is less than or equal to negative 4. I'm going to solve for y, so I'm adding 3x to both sides. 2y is less than or equal to 3x minus 4. Dividing everything by 2. Y is less than or equal to 3/2 x minus 2. Plotting this line up 3/2. There's an underline, so it's solid. And it's less than, so I will be shading below. For my second one, I have 4x plus 5y greater than 10. Subtracting 4x off both sides. I have 5y greater than negative 4x plus 10. Divide, divide everything by 5. Y greater than negative 4/5 x plus 2. Right, so I'm going to plot this guy. Y-intercept is 2. That's down 4, right 5. Right here. No underline means this should be a dashed line. And it's greater than, which means we should be shading above. So the region that has arrows in both directions is this guy right here. And we shade him. And that's it. We're done. Now, you might be asked on Alex to find a coordinate point of a point in the solution set. You might say something like, if it says something like this, you get to choose any point in this region, so in the shaded region. So I like to choose something that's like very safely in the region, like this guy right here. This is the point 10, 0. So you could just say 10, 0. But any point in that region will work. All right, let's do one that's a little bit different. So for this guy here, we have one that's already in the correct form. I'm going to go ahead and plot him. So y-intercept is 1. It's, let's see, up 4, right 7. That should put me right here. There's an underline, so it's a solid line. And it's less than, so we'll be shading below. And the second one, he does need to be put into slope-intercept form, so negative 4x plus 7y greater than negative 28, adding 4x to both sides. 7y is greater than 4x minus 28. Divide everything by 7. Y is greater than 4/7 x minus 4. So this guy has the same slope, which means these lines are going to be parallel. All right, well, let's just see how it looks. So negative 4, up 4, right 7. That's me right here. No underline, which means this should be dashed. And then above means here. So in this situation, it's pretty clear where we should shade. We want to shade between the two of them because there's arrows pointing to it on both sides. But sometimes when lines are parallel, it gets a little confusing. I'm going to go in the next example into one of those situations. But for this one, it's pretty clear. The arrows are pointing towards the center, so you're shading the center here. Let's look at that next one. So nice, one of these is already in slope-intercept form. Let's take the first one and put him that way. Right, adding 2x to both sides. I have 3y less than 2x minus 3. Divide everything by 3. Y less than 2/3 x minus 1. All right, minus 1 up to right 3. There's no underline, so I'm going to put a dashed line down. And it says below. So that's the below direction. For this second guy here, I have 2/3 x minus 7, so going to negative 7, plotting a point, up to right 3, it's going to be right there. Underline means a solid line. And then this guy is a less than sign, so he's below as well. That's really interesting. There's no region that has arrows on both sides, so you're going to have to just do a tiny bit of problem solving here. If you have parallel lines and they're both pointed down, that means you want the one that's below both of them. So you'd want to shade this region right here. Okay. You don't want to shade this region because this region doesn't have the arrows up here. So you want one that's below both of them, which would be this guy here. So if they're both pointing in towards the center, then you're shading the center. If they're both pointing down, you would shade the lowest region. And if they were both pointing up, you would shade the highest region, the one that was above both of them. And I mean, that really covers all of the tricky things from this section. So if you're feeling good right now, and you should believe in yourself, then you're in good shape. Just keep on believing, keep on working hard. You got this.